Well, these are Edge-It dies by our friends at Hunkydory, and they also have a coordinating sparkling sentiment stamp, which just makes everything work together. And let me just show you something. You can see the dies on the front, but look what happens when I open it. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the Edge-It because they are on the edges. Well, we hope you will please come play with us. Well, we have Joyful Jasmine and Beautiful Bluebell and Sweet Sunflower, so those are all of them. So let me just show you what the dies look like, okay? So they're about 3 inches wide, and you can place them however you like on your paper. So let me get this scooted over, and so I can show you. This I did just right on the edge of this short paper, which is going to give me as long an edge as I need. But also you can see that that's just going to pop right out. And if you want a longer piece, well, you can just simply do it on a wider piece of paper, certainly going almost to 6 inches if you're using a regular die cutting machine like a Big Shot or Gemini Junior. Okay, let's get into our projects and see what's going on. Now, this is also using the jasmine that I just showed you. And as I said, you can easily trim out the left side if you want to. And that's exactly what Heidi has done here. And you can see that little fairy and the flowers, very pretty. Now, what Heidi used, this is our regular 5 by 6.5 inch card. And she has chosen the Poppies collection. And so she is using the solid cardstock with all of those bright, fun colors to mat a piece of the 6 by 6 on the front of her card. So you can see that she's using the green combination. You can kind of get a peek at that paper right there and a better look right here. Now the die has been cut out of the rich Miri cardstock, and let me just show that to you here. We were out of it for just a little bit, but it's back in stock now. It's one of our favorites, and your favorites too, as I can tell by sales. And so that piece has been placed here. However, Heidi also took some vellum, and we do have the vellum now in packages of, I think it's 4 sheets. Yes, 4 sheets. And that will give you a nice amount. But what she did, she put the vellum behind just the girl and trimmed it out. And then she took the sparkle pen. Now that's the pen from Crafter's Companion that when you go over it, it's going to put some sparkle right wherever you put it. So she has elected to do that. And I'm hoping that you can see that. I'm not sure if you can. I can certainly see it here in person, but that works so nicely. And we do these singly, so I think we're the only one that does that. So that way you can have that just at your disposal whenever you want it. And the other thing that she has added is our foiled butterfly die cuts. Now they come in a package with 32 of them. There are 2 sheets. And you can see what she's done. She has just scored on each side of the body, attached that with extra sticky tape, and then placed it there. And that just works so nicely. Now she does have the gold jewel dazzles in the center of them. And this is one of the cutouts from the Poppies 6 by 6. She's matted it onto the Miri. And then on the inside of her card, oh, I guess I should say that bow came from the orange ribbon set. And Heidi does this where she picks, someone might want to do this in a green bow, but she picks the color that's going to pop. And so that works very nicely. On the inside of her card, she's gone to a pink set in the solid and in the 6 by 6, matted it on the Miri. Another of the cutout matted on Miri, and 3 more butterflies and another orange bow. Just really pretty. And I think it's fun to see this on the front in greens and orange and then pop to the inside and see pinks. That's a technique that Teresa has done, and I think it's really smart of Heidi to have picked that up. So that is our first card using the Poppy collection. Now our second card is this, And Heidi's done a couple of things on this one. Now, this is a stand-up card, so it's going to stand just like that. And let me show you what she does. So she takes our regular, I'll fold this just so that you can see, our 5 by 6.5 inch card. Now you can use that, or you can cut a piece of cardstock that's 6.5 by 10, your choice. And then she has taken this, laid it out flat, and done some scoring. So starting from the left at 2 inches, then at 3 inches, then at 7 inches, and at 8 inches. That way it's going to give us that, that beautiful layout that she's done so nicely right here. And you're going to do the folding, beginning with a valley fold, the V, going to a mountain fold, and then reversing it, mountain and valley. And so just like that, and you will want to have your bone folder to really just go over the edges of that to make them nice and firm. Now with that, she did use the adorable scoreboard because that just makes it so much easier to do the scoring rather than using a ruler and a stylus. So your choice, of course. Now, to go into the card, what did she use? Well, a combination of things, as it turns out. Let's see, she has used the blue Persuasion. Now that's got lots of shades of blue, from light blue clear to navy blue, and then also the 12 by 12 blue Persuasion, and that has some wonderful prints as well. So as you can tell, she has done one piece of light and matted it on the dark, just on the two sides, not top and bottom. And then she's done a darker print for each of the edges. So she's keeping the same one on both side panels. Everything is matted on the blue Persuasion dark blue solid cardstock. Now this You Are So Thoughtful comes from the 6 by 6 papers, which is why we do offer it in multiple sizes, because you have multiple options. Now she also has done a bit of embellishing on the sides, and she has used the straight line dazzles. And as you may know, it comes with very narrow, it's about a 1/16 of an inch of strips, as well as not quite a 1/4 of an inch, about a good, little over a good 1/8. And you can see on each side, and that just classes it up nicely. Speaking of classing it up, let me show you what else she did. So she took, now this is the Bluebell. Okay, so it's that one. And you can kind of tell, so that gives you a good idea to use blue Persuasion. And I want to get in really close, Jeanette. Can you do that? Because Heidi has layered, thank you, she has layered 2 of the die cuts. There's a light underneath, a dark. I hope you can see that. Let me just show you another look of it. So here are 2 cutouts, again, out of the blue Persuasion, a light and a darker. And so when she positioned them, she just offset just a smidge, having the light underneath the dark. So you can play with that a bit, but you get the idea of how that's going to look. So she placed that there. Now again, she just trimmed that outside edge, and you can see, I'll do it on the light. You can see how you can just lift that up. There's going to snip there. There'll be a snip there and there, but it gets pretty easy. You don't have to cut every single piece of it out. And of course, this side is already trimmed out for you. Then she placed that on her card, and she added the gold jewel dazzles. These have the 540 circular dazzles on them, and you can see how they just highlight those bluebells. And you can elect to write your message on the back or whatever you like, so that's going to work nicely. Certainly that bow is out of the white ribbon set. Now I did tell you not very long ago that Heidi uses Hunkydory's bow maker. And yes, I know I haven't done a video, but I promise I will. You know, I'll get to it, I do promise. But she did use it on these cards too. Okay, let's go to the card that I showed you in the beginning. And here it is. And I think this is just so gorgeous. This is using the Sweet Sunflower die. Now, you can see that the images have been cut apart. So there's our fairy, there's the sunflowers, and they have just been attached to the front of the card. Now, she has used the fairy garden. My goodness. Okay, here we go. She's used the fairy garden collection. So here is the solid, and here is the patterned. And you can see what a lovely job, again, on our 5 by 6.5 inch cards, and that will work nicely. Now, this is where we're going to get into doing the stamps. So today is a special day because of you. That was stamped on here, and it is right here. There it is. And that is onto the die cut that coordinates with the fairy garden. And you can see the papers, of course, just below that. But I think it's really lovely now how she has pulled those apart. The pink ribbon, of course, just to make sure you see everything. She also went to the inside. Now, here is where having that extra space really plays well. So remember when I said in the beginning that you can cut them wherever you want on your paper, and that way you've got an edge. Now, in this case, she has done it about an inch or an inch and a half. The directions are down below, beyond the artwork. That way she can score it and then glue that flap to the inside of the card. And I said glue, but I think the extra sticky tape is going to really do a better job there to just really hold that in place. So that works well. And then you can come back with both of the solid and the patterned fairy garden papers. And you'll notice that they're a light color, and she has played with a solid and a pattern and added the straight line dazzles right there. These two are the cutouts from that collection. And not only did she, as you can see, she cut them apart in the front, but in the back, she also allowed an extra little piece right here that just kind of floats up. So that works so nicely. There is another beautiful bow and just a knotted ribbon right there. But I love that center insert. I think that just does such a nice job. And again, with that Mary cardstock, just gives extra shine. So very good. In fact, yes, that is that today is special because of you. Okay, and she did stamp that. I don't know that I showed you, but she did use it with the stays on. You can use the VersaFine, whatever you like. That's going to give a really good image. Probably not the Prism ink pads because they are a dye base, so they're not going to be as strong an image for you. Okay, so that is our third project. Now, our last one, she has done something very fun, and I just so appreciate Heidi's creativity. And here it is on a slimline card. Now, I'm hoping you can see how some color has been added. In this case, again, you can do this onto any length of paper, and this time she did an 8.5 inch long to go onto her slimline, and she did just a little bit of extra so that this could fold around the slimline card. Now, but let me show you. Here is the slimline card. I'm just going to pull it out of the package. In fact, we do sell these with the envelopes. Looks like that. And here is the slimline envelope. You would normally use it like this, but aha, not our Heidi. She turned it over, yes, turned it over and used it this way. And that's how she got this card. So here we have the front. I'm going to open it like that. How neat is that? Very clever and very easy to do. Oh, I see my bow has gotten a little messed up. I'm sorry, Heidi. Okay, we'll fix that a little bit later. Okay, let's go back to this and let me share a couple of things with you. So when she die cut it, she went back and used several ink pads. Now, this is the gold as well as a powder blue and a lovely lilac. Now, those were used to go on to with her blending brush and just to do a little bit on the edges of the flowers on all three of them. So the gold is here, the edge on the wings and the tip of that flower. The lilac is on the tips of the flowers all the way around. And then the powder blue is just in a few couple of places. So it just adds a bit of color to that piece, and I think it does a really nice job. Now, also, she added the green sparkles. You can see that right there on her waist. And then she's added the bows come in out of the blue ribbon set, just like this. Now you can see that right here there is a, let's see, make sure you can see that. Yeah, there is a border dazzle, and this comes from the Fancy Borders Pastel and Pearls collection. So there's one right there. Now this, Thinking of You and Just for You, those are out of the 6x6 Lilacs in Bloom. And you know, I don't think I told you that the die cut, the cutting die, was cut out of the Lilacs in Bloom cardstock. So there you go, you've got that. Now you've got all the information. Then going to the inside of our card, she has used the Lilacs in Bloom 12x12 papers. So look at that. Doesn't that just look gorgeous? And you would need to use the cardstock, the solid again. So you can see she's cut a piece here and a piece here and matted it onto the solid, glued it on the inside. Now these are cutouts from that paper collection, but the stamping has been done with Prism's Violet ink pad. And wishing you everything wonderful. Friends make the world beautiful. They fit perfectly. And I love the fact that she used the violet because it coordinates perfectly with that whole collection. So I just think it's really smart. This is another of the border dazzles. And look, there is another one on the inside here. Now, this would be white, but she has added about a 1/4 of an inch strip right here just to give another area to continue all of those lilac colors. Really pretty. More of the blue. Interesting, she didn't go with the purple ribbon set. She stayed with the blue one. So again, that's what Heidi does. More of the crystals, more of the crystals. So there's the border dazzles there, and there. Just really fun. And then you can see the peach on the front of the card. So really playing in all of those colors of going with the Lilacs in Bloom. So very, very fun. Well, I think Heidi has done a marvelous job of showing us lots of ways of using these products and some very creative ways. So you can see you've got the sparkling sentiments. You've seen many of those. We also have the sunflower, we have the bluebell, and we have the jasmine. So all of those. So good job, Heidi. Once again, I'm delighted with what you've done. And there is a money saver. Of course, there's always a money saver on the right side of your screen, as you well know. We like to give you a discount. And you can see all of the directions are down below. Just click on the card that you want. You'll see the directions, and that works nicely. You'll also see everything that Heidi used. And if you are watching us on YouTube, we hope you will like us and subscribe. I'm sure you've heard that before, because we want to share with you even more creativity. Our designers are doing almost 30 webisodes a month, and we'd like to share that creativity with you. Also, if you're on YouTube, head on over to paperwishes.com. take advantage of the Money Saver. Take a look at the instructions because they generally give you some extra tips. And we love having all of you with us. So thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. And thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. Bye-bye.